right, here we go. Friday night, about 8:15. 8:15 Atlantic Canadian time. Sophia's around here somewhere. We don't know where she's at. She's here. I don't know what she's doing. We moved a couple things around today. Strange Science. It's got some sort of what I assume is a switch matrix problem, and I just haven't been able to sort through it here. Just time and where it is in the arcade and what I have here and all this other crap we got going on. So we had a couple machines still next door in their dining room, but they're painting their dining room and kind of fixing it up. So we pulled the two we had Double Dragon and Snow Bros were over there. Pulled those out. I pulled Strange Science, folded that up. It's in the bag right now. And then we moved the other two machines in. So we lost a pinball machine, but we gained 2 video games. So that's all right. And then I'll sort out. It's not going to take me very long to sort out that problem with Strange Science, because it's somewhere in the switch matrix. I've fiddled with it enough that I actually think that it's at the connector at the board, but I just need to tone that out and make sure that that's actually what it is. But that's what it's acting like, and I think that's where it is. I actually started to make a couple of videos on it where I'm like, oh, okay, here's the problem, and here's how we're going to troubleshoot it, and then someone walks in the doorway. Or the last one that I did, I did the whole introduction. We're going to troubleshoot this thing. Here's what it's doing. Da, 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 da. When I turned the game on, it was working perfectly fine, and it worked perfectly fine for a couple of days, and then whatever jiggle loose again. And so yeah, you can't troubleshoot it if it's working, right? So you have to wait till it's broken. And it's been like that. It'll run for a little while, we'll leave it on, and then it'll stop working, and then we'll turn it off, and then I'll fiddle with it, and so it's kind of been on and off for the last little bit here. What else? Red and Ted. That one, there's the upkick that's sort of in the center of the playfield. That one, in the past, has gone through a period where, like, it very lethargically kicks a ball out. If you get 2 balls down in there, forget it, you're done. Sometimes. Not all the time, just sometimes. I've looked at it before, and I'm looking at to see if things are loose, if something's broken, if something doesn't look right. Everything looks fine. Like, I've taken the coil out before, and the little plunger that fires out, I've taken that out. And so today, it started doing it again, and it would cycle. Like, it would go through cycles where sometimes it just all day it would have a problem kicking the ball out, and then the next day every time it would fire the ball out just fine, and even if you got a couple in there it would fire them out. So it's sporadic. So today I opened it up, I looked at it, the metal cage that the vertical upkick is attached to, that whole thing comes out. First thing I noticed is that it was a little loose in there, so that's you've got kinetic energy that you need to shoot the ball out of the thing. So if it's a little loose, it's absorbing some of that, it's shocking some of that kinetic energy. It's a shock absorber, right? So, oh, hey, Spike, how's it going? Curious Stranger, hello, welcome to our stream. So I ended up pulling out that whole metal assembly, and I'm looking at the solenoid. I'm looking at the business end of it, and Sophia looks at the top end. She's like, "Is it supposed to be broken here?" So the top, there are 5 little welds. The metal piece that circles around, so the ball goes up this way, they were broken from the edges. And so when the ball fires up, I imagine it was flexing like this, and that energy was getting absorbed and the ball was going back in. Because the ball would come almost all the way up to the top and then drop back down again. And then it would get caught in this loop where it would keep trying to fire this ball out, and then the solenoid would heat up and it would be less efficient. So anyway, so I pulled the cage out. I took it to my friend Jason, who does welding, and we welded it all back together and popped it back in there, and it seems better. It's not. It still doesn't eject the ball like with a good punch like it should, but it's fine. Is this got a stuck ball? This guy's got a stuck ball. I'll be right back. You have a stuck ball? It's just kind of sitting there. Oh, I see it. It's right up there. There you go.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I don't want to forget this.
Curious stranger, is this a first time checking out our stream? I'll give you a tour. Here's this is looking basically from this end back, and then I have this is the back row back here. That's the back wall.
Hello, Spike. Hello, curious stranger.
And that's basically, that's right in front of us looking straight back. Where's the other camera? We're missing a camera. Oh, I might have turned it, I turned it on last time. Yeah. So that's us looking straight back from here. And then that other camera was back behind. Like I said, little girl there in the back, she's playing Terminator.
She's killing Terminator.
You can't see her, but you can see her.
I love the Double Dragon's getting a lot of love again.
Yeah.
Now that we brought it back over. They're, I'm not sure if Seven mentioned this, they're painting the dining room on the other side. So they asked if we could bring those back in, which is fine. And we moved 2 machines in and kept one and only had to move out 1 machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Rebecca and Reset are out watching Alien Romulus. Aha.
Oh, that's the new one. I was telling Seven, I was listening to the radio the other day and they had an interview with the director and it was really good. If you want to listen to it, it's the recent episode of CBC's Q with Tom Power, and he interviews him and he talks about how he hired back the same builders and what is the word for the fucking pardon my French.
Puppeteers?
Well, the people that make them.
Just a production crew?
I guess so. Whoever,
model makers? Or?
Maybe the model makers, yeah. He hired back all the original folks that worked on Alien because he wanted to use as little CGI as possible. So, I'm interested. I want to watch Alien and then Alien Romulus because it's supposed to be set between Alien and Aliens. Yeah. Oh, it's cooler outside now than it is in here. Should we open the door?
I'll open that.
Okay, in the window. It's been getting a little warm in here. Oh, maybe check if the AC is full too. I dumped it out this morning. Got a couple ACs running in here. Some days it gets really, really warm. Hey, Elaine. I just watched your Red and Ted video with that done it. Lucky there was a replacement and sticker for it. It was a little rusty too, so I replaced it. Are you talking about the one? Did Seven just? I didn't even know if he posted it already. The video. Red and Ted last night. We've had issues with the kicker on Red and Ted, and so last night I heard it going, and usually if it gets stuck, it'll kick it out after like the 5th or 6th time. So I went over there and I gave it a nudge, and nothing was working, so I turned it off and on again. I thought maybe that would fix it. It didn't fix it, so I turned it off. I let Seven know. He opens it up. He starts fiddling with the plunger and the solenoid, and then he had the scoop section that he got welded today on the counter, and I was like, this is broken. And he looked at it, he's like, that might be part of the problem too. And luckily for us, a friend of ours is a welder on the island, and so Seven just gave him a call, asked him if he was available, and zipped right over and zoop, 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 welded that together. He's really good. He does lots of different types of work. And hold please. Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad.
Gonna take some stuff for the road?
We're gonna hang out a little bit longer.
Okay.
We won't drink on the machines or anything.
Oh, well, we've got cup holders for the legs of the machines, but I wasn't sure. I have little boxes that you can put the drinks, in the little 4-pack if you want.
No, I think we're okay.
All right.
Thank you, though.
No worries.
Look at a postcard, too.
Okay. Swag. Postcard. Yeah, so we've got cup holders on the legs of the machines on almost every single one, so you can take your drinks around with you. Go, and 2 waters. Anything else? Any snacks?
No, that's everything, I think.
All right, $8.04.
Yep. There you go.
All right, from 10. Do you have a nickel?
Probably, yeah.
Because then I could give you a whole lot less handful of change. Or even like a quarter.
Yeah, I'll do the orders.
Okay, so then I'll give you, there you go.
Perfect, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right.
Just gonna go back to it.
Okay.
After all that.
Oh, no, that's okay. Thanks so much. Yeah. Hi, I'm back. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, so we noticed that the welds were off, and Seven also thinks the plunger isn't quite long enough, or that it could be longer. He has a longer one too.
Medusa's flipper floppery. I need to fix it.
Oh. Maybe we'll do you want camera safari while Seven fixes floppy flippers on Medusa? She has such a temper when it comes to the heat. I think she's meant to live in a very cold climate. She does not. The first summer we were open, the heat pump gave out, and there was a massive heat wave, and she died a couple of times. And so we put little stickers up that said things like, "I looked at my own reflection." Did you want to do camera safari? No. I looked at my reflection and now I'm frozen. So we like to put different little things like that up before we got our Wreck-It Ralph inspired repair signs. But yeah, so Seven, Jason was available today, so he ran. Oh, actually, I'm going to remind Seven of one other thing that's wrong with Medusa. Do you have any more? Oh wow, you're not lying about the flipper floppy. I know you people can't see it because we're not filming, but one of the wire solders completely came off.
It's actually not.
Is the springy not springing? Did part of the spring break off? Or just compacted?
Feels like something is in here, like stopped it, physically stopped.
Oh.
So I wonder if the
A screw got loose or something?
coil stopped right from it.
Oh. I'm not sure if you have any, but that rollover star at the very last one up there, Ah, okay. Well then, that fixes that problem. Hello. Oh, hi, Chris. How's it going? I'm just going to sit in this chair and I'm going to lower it, and it's going to be very upsetting for Seven because he's going to come back and the chair is going to be really low. I don't know how it can be so high. He must have a longer torso than I do, and I have a pretty long torso. Strange fun fact about my family. Short little legs, really long torsos. I was offered a job as a fit model, which is essentially a clothing test model. So essentially they test out how the clothes look on you as I wouldn't even say average, because they're not looking for average people, they're looking for thinner people or whatever. And my specs were correct to what they needed, like height and whatnot, but then when they measured me, they're like, your torso's too long because the shirts aren't made for someone with such a long torso. I was like, thanks, great. Felt pretty good about myself. No. Anyways, I can't remember why I got, the chair thing. I adjust chairs all the time and I feel really bad because I'll adjust the seat in the car, and then, again, long torso, short legs, and then I'll have to, Seven will try and get in, but then he'll get squished. Have you ever seen that, like those memes of guys like going to get into their car after their wife's been driving it, and they they hit the door and get totally squished and like fall out of the car? Yeah, that's what happens when I forget to change change the seat. So I'm dropping this seat lower, and Seven will come back and you'll have to raise it. Spike says, oddly enough, Long Torso was the name of my Tim Curry cover band in the 80s. Long Torso is probably a good name for a band. I like it. So anyways, end of the Red and Tit. There's no reason to be angry like that. My favorite flipper people. So he took it in there and they got it fixed up, and also filmed a little bit about the bowler frames. Jason, so if you're on the island and you need welding done, specifically aluminum welding, Jason Squires of Old School Welding in Propoud, I think I said that right, is your guy. I met Jason through a friend who, funny enough, we were co-workers, and then we worked in different offices, and then we both moved here and didn't realize we both moved here, and we met, and that's her partner, and then and he's a welder, and so he started his own welding company. He was a welder in BC, started his own welding company here in PEI, and when Seven was working for the IT company putting antennas on buildings all over the world, they needed a really sturdy mount to ship with the antennas, like a metal mount to ship with the antennas so that it wouldn't fall off. And Jason was the guy, and so they hired him to do, like, I don't know, like at least 20 or more of these really big mounts, and they also had threading on them too. So he did that, and then he does bowlers, and we bought a bowler before we moved, and we camped across Canada in it, but it is time for it to get a new frame, so probably next summer, maybe this winter, I'm not sure. Jason's got, he also builds boats, he builds fishing boats, and so he's done at least he's done a couple of them, I think, out in BC, and so he gets hired in the winter to build fishing boats. And then he's been hired all over the country. He's gone out to do like industrial kitchens. So anyways, fantastic welder, really great reputation. So old school welding, school, spelt with a K because he's cool. And if you need a bowler frame redone or almost any other type of sturdy welding, Jason's your guy. So we're looking forward to getting the new frame up on the bowler. and that should help. We've got a door sag happening on ours, which is really common when your frame might be out of kilter, and there's probably some other adjustments that we can make, but yeah. Anyways, rambly. Spike. I love those little campers. I know, they're so cute, and it worked really well for us. Mind you, we had a parrot and a bunch of other stuff in the bowler when we camped. We had the cats locked in the back of the van, and we used some dog barriers for cars. We stacked them because it was like right behind the seats, essentially. So we made enough room on one side that we could, on both sides, that we could open the door, but they couldn't escape. So it was kind of like a U shape in the back of our van, so that we could open the doors, put stuff behind the seats, but the cats couldn't escape. And then we made an opening in the middle between the seats so that we could open it from the middle and go into the back of the van and sit with the cats. We'd sit with them each night just so that they wouldn't feel upset. I mean, one of them just had a terrible time with it, and the other two were just like, one didn't care, one had a terrible time, and the third one was just plotting its escape. But we also had a parrot at the time, so we had to make room for him. And we couldn't leave him in the van at night in case it got too cold. It was okay for the cats because they can go down to like 7 degrees. Science says cats can live outside up to 7 degrees Celsius. And but the parrot can't. Parrots are, tropical. They like the heat. So we had to bring him into the bowler. So you can fit 2 people and a parrot and cook food and coffee in a bowler, just in case you needed to know that. Back onto pinball related things. Seven is fixing Medusa right now. You can see him up on the screen. One of the flippers had completely come unsoldered and from the solenoid, and that same one, Seven was pushing it. He thinks the coil sleeve had broken because the flipper, the pin wasn't going all the way in. So I'm expecting to hear about that. And that one also had a rollover star target that was broken. So it would, because it was broken on the bottom, it would twist, get stuck up in between the gaps in where it's supposed to go under. So it would be getting stuck like that. And then because there was a tiny little, kind of like a gateway right there, so the rollover would get stuck, and then the ball would be trying to go over, and it would get stuck on that gateway, and we would have to open it up and nudge it because it was perfectly stuck between the rollover star being stuck up and the gateway. So FYI, if your ball is getting stuck on when you're shooting it up right at the top there, it could be because your rollover star is broken. Anyways, what is everybody else's favorite camper? I saw someone yesterday, I drove behind them, and they were also a terrible driver, by the way, that had the license plate RVing we go was their license plate. And I was behind them and they were like stopping so early for a stoplight. It was so frustrating. And then they turned so slowly in a left-hand turn, I was afraid we were going to get in an accident. And then when I changed lanes to get out from behind them and go the actual speed limit, and then maybe potentially pass them, they sped up because, if someone doesn't want to drive behind you because you're a bad driver and then tries to go around you, that's when you speed up. Sorry if you're watching the stream, RVing we go. They also didn't have an RV attached to their car, it was just their car. Oh no, Chris. Oh, we haven't had COVID in a while. Who was it? I think it was either Jon Stewart or Seth Meyers. I think it was Jon Stewart. He got COVID for the first time. He came back on the show, and he had COVID for the first time recently. It still sucks, isn't it? You still feel pretty run down when you get it. I remember when I first got it 2 years. It was 2 years after. It was like 2 weeks after we opened the arcade. Someone came in here and gave it to me, and it was Omicron. And even then, after we'd been vaccinated, and I know it would have been so much worse if I hadn't been vaccinated, I was so exhausted. So, and even putting a frozen lasagna in the oven, getting out of bed, putting a frozen lasagna in the oven, and then getting back into bed was too much work. It was so exhausting. Anyways, I hope you feel better soon, and it's not too bad. That really sucks. I'm really sorry, Chris. I hope everyone has a germ-free rest of their summer, because it's even worse when you get sick in the summer. I went to SFGE, got Best in Show and COVID. What is SFGE? Is it a pinball show? Also, hi Jeff, 4130. SFGE. Southern Fried Gaming Expo, is that what it was? That sounds amazing. Okay. So real question, Jeff. It says Southern Fried Gaming Expo. 1, is it actually Southern Fried Gaming Expo that SFGE stands for? And 2, do they have, okay, question 2, do they have Southern fried food there? Because if they do, I think you have just made our next road trip. That would be really cool, because that's right before we, June 2025, Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, that sounds really fun. How many pinball machines and video arcades do they have there, Jeff? About how many? Because they have a couple hundred. I think they had like 300 or 400 in the Tacoma show. That's the one that we've been to. We'd love to go to the Pennsylvania show. That one sounds really good, because those ones are on this side. We'd also love to, yes, 2, not there per se, but it can be found. Oh, 1, yes, 2, not there per se, but okay. Ooh, congrats on Best in Show. Sorry to hear about that bonus. What type of, were you presenting a pinball machine? Like, what did you win Best in Show for? Because whenever I say the words Best in Show, the movie Best in Show pops into my head, and I don't think anything that you have was dog related. In one of the Tacoma shows, before things got really weird with, what were they called? 70-ish pins from random people, maybe another 30 plus vendors, video game, board games, all kinds of stuff. That sounds like a fun trip. It is a great dog movie, isn't it? So Jeff says, yes, 70-ish pins from random people, maybe another 30 plus from vendors, video games, board games, all kinds of stuff. That sounds like fun. I think it would be fun to go down and be a vendor at some of these shows and encourage people to come up and play at the arcade. At the got Best in Show modern pin for my fun house. Ooh, that sounds awesome. Nitro Pinball, that's what it was called. A friend of ours, Don, had joined and started a business. Don was an arcade owner and a repair guy, and so Tommy only wanted to sell new pins, I think it was, and Don did all of the repairs, but anyways, Don knew that Seven had some really good painting skills and asked Seven to help him do up a Harlem Globetrotters with a different style, like a new paint job on the cabinet and some of the playfield too, I think. And they were also donating it to the winner of the tournament. So what was really cool is it was really, even though it was presented by Nitro, Seven and Dawn were the ones that worked on it themselves. And they won best, is it like best custom paint job or best custom machine? Something like that, best in show for the machine, and then it got given away. So it was really cool that, you know, Seven, he's done these really, like our Pinbot is kind of an original, he repainted our Pinbot. If you haven't seen it, check out Seven's series, YouTube series on repainting the cabinet of our Pinbot. It was pretty thrashed and he wanted to do something different, so he did it red and then did the outline of the Pinbot guy in black and then actually added the colors for the planets and in his you know, the little computer buttons that he has. So, and I think it's really good. And he's done some other really good paint jobs. Like if you also follow the series, and I promise he will finally finish the Monty Python machine. If we get into a new space, it will have a workshop and he will finish painting that. But that one, you can see his paint skills, and he also wants to repaint some of that too. Skateball, I'm not sure if he made a video on that, but he did do a lot of like pointillism practically. Meteor, he repainted the entire playfield on that one. But awesome. I head to Vegas next month for a hobby conference. Lucky to get Rona out of the way. I got round 1 this year. Do you mean like you got one this time last year? It's weird, hey, how people were getting it in the summer. You know what's really funny, Chris? Seven and I were just talking today. Someone asked us if we had been to the Las Vegas pinball place, and we haven't. I've never been to Las Vegas, and then I was saying, oh my God, let's go to... We haven't been on like a trip in so long. I think the last actual trip that we took pre-COVID was to PEI. Nope, California. We went to California. We came to PEI, and then the next trip that we took was down to California to go to Disneyland and to visit our friend Bob at Retrovolt. Bob's Retrovolt, sorry. I think it's Retrovolt Arcade, and Bob is the owner. And we went down there to visit, but we haven't done, and that was in 2019. And we haven't done anything since. So it's about time. So we're thinking next winter in January or February of going to Las Vegas. And the area around. We'd love to go back and visit Bob at Retrovolt as well. Anyways, backing up. Jeff, congratulations. Are you able to post pictures in chat? Or do you have like a link you can show us of your winning machine so that we can put it on here? Let's see, about us, app, event, vendors, vendor list. I hear a ball cycling and it's really frustrating me. Maybe. No? Do I hear? I don't see anything about events, schedule of events, guests, game to play, tournaments and contests. Meeting tournament. Exciting attractions. Oh, I don't see anything. It doesn't have a list of the best in show. I want to see your fun house. We'd love to get a fun house. Chris says, it's the only thing I want to outside of work is the Pinball Museum. I want to play Attack from Mars. Oh, we'd love to get an Attack from Mars. We were very close to getting one, but it was too much right now to get into it. Ooh, photo dump of the project. See if we can open it up in another window and then we can share it with everybody and view it. Okay, is it just me or did 7 disappear? Like, he's not working on a machine. Does anyone see him hiding in the background? I've lost 7, folks. I found him. Nothing has come up yet, Jeff. But I'm interested to see it. Sorry, I found 7. He's outside chatting with one of the guys from next door. That's too bad. Well, let's see. Trying to look on their Instagram page to see if they've got. Why do I have to log in? Instagram wants me to log in so I can see the best in show or anything. Oh, may need to copy paste. I don't even know what our Pinballorama Instagram password is. That's gonna be difficult. Okay. All right, we'll figure it out because I want to see what you did on. Do you have do they have a Facebook page? Let's see. Oh, do they have a link tree here? Let's see. Do you have Facebook? Let's see if we can scroll through their pictures without actually logging in. Because you've got to be in one of their pictures, right? For Best in Show. It was in June. Interesting. Sorry, I'm not being very entertaining. I'm determined to find Jeff's pinball machine so we can all look at it. Because how would they not have a picture of it? Ooh. Oh, that's from the video from 2023. I was gonna be like, ooh, 2023. How do they not have more pictures on their Facebook page, friend? There's literally like nothing posted from the event. There's a couple of things from after the event, but there's nothing. Why wouldn't you post more stuff? Why wouldn't they post more stuff about like having people win stuff? You know what I mean? There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's literally like 10 photos from it. What is wrong with them? Hi.
Sorry, I'm a terrible co-host.
Yeah. I don't know how good of a host I am. That's why we need a co-host.
I went next door to say I love the color, and then of course he wanted to talk to me about a whole bunch of stuff. So we talked about a whole bunch of stuff.
What did we talk about? Sorry guys. Oh, I shouldn't have yawned like that. That was so terrible. Sorry, Jeff. I was looking at the Southern Fried Gaming Expo's Facebook page, and they literally only have about 10 pictures from the event on the page, and I'm outraged on your behalf that they did not post a picture of you with your winning Best in Shogun. So let's see, catch you up. Random chat about my Long Torso. Long Torso was the name of Tim Curry's cover band. We talked a little bit about the bowler, and I think, did you already post your video?
It is.
Okay, so Outlane saw it and said, watched your Red and Ted video, had something similar with Who Done It. Luckily, there was a replacement and a sticker for it. It was a little rusty too, so I replaced it. And then Jeff 4130 joined the chat, and they went to it's called Southern Fried Gaming Expo, and they have about 70 pins plus 30 from vendors, video games, board games, all kinds of stuff. And he won Best in Show for Modern Pin for the Funhouse.
Ah.
And I looked on Instagram and Facebook, and they have like fuck all photos from the event. And so I'm because Jeff was trying to upload some photos because we all wanted to see what it looked like. And then link should work. Tried it on another browser. Oh, I'm not getting any links. Chris says it will work on video comments after live feed ends though. Aww. Seems silly, but likely cuts down on spam of big streams. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Nothing shows in chat, no picture links. Not so good photo. Ah, we're all upset, Jeff. He's trying to share photos of Funhouse with us. And then I told him about you winning that award with Dawn for your paint jobs, and that you've done quite a few others.
Best restoration or something like that.
It was
I forget
like,
what it was called.
Or was it restoration or custom paint job or something?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I lowered your chair, and we had a discussion about how I'm always messing up all of your chairs. Because I have a short
Do you mind hosting for a moment more whilst I make more coffee?
Oh, that's fine. That's okay.
I'll leave my thing here so you don't hear me. All right.
Anyways, what other games do you have, Jeff? And anyone else that might be in the chat that wants to know more about Jeff and his Funhouse? Devin's had a busy day fixing stuff. He fixed Big Guns, Roadshow, Lethal Weapon, and Medusa today. All while, we had we had people in here too. It's been a little slower today because there was a big parade in town. Someone coming for pinball. People drive by really slow, it creeps me out. Chris, maybe you could explain this for us. What is the Gold Cup Day parade thing? People talk like we went to go to Access PEI today, which is like the service center for the province to drop something off, and they were closed because it's Gold Cup Day. Don't understand it. It has something to do with like Old Home Week and horse races? I would think that, except I saw a bunch of photos of people in race cars or like fancy cars, so it's very confusing to me. Anyways, I think a bunch of people spent their day watching the parade and then getting heat stroke because it's been a little bit slow today. Yesterday was really busy, and so was Wednesday and Tuesday. I mean, it's pretty steady, but it's interesting when we have nights that are usually busier than others, but then it's a little quiet. I think everybody that's in right now is going to be part of me. Oh, they're leaving right now. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that. I love when we've had a bunch of people come in today that were like, oh no, I'm just gonna pay for an hour. Do you think we'll stay for 2 hours? And I'm just like, it's 5 cents more. Nobody has left today under 2 hours. Absolutely not. Everyone has come in, paid for 2 hours, and played for 2 hours. So I just realized it's 9:02 and both of our groups are leaving in a couple of minutes. I can't believe it's been 2 hours since they got here.
Slow night tonight. Really.
I was asking Chris if he could please explain what Gold Cup Day is.
Gold Bowl.
Great, thanks guys.
Thanks so much.
Good night.
You too. The Gold Cup is the first prize for the harness race this weekend. And how many years have they been like? But then they have like a parade or something, isn't it? They do that. That was the whole thing. There's a parade, and they've been doing it for a very long time. Okay.
Yeah, is the parade primarily for? Here, we're all going to learn some PEI history. Is the parade primarily for, like it's built around the horse race?
Look.
Oh, hi, Lauren.
Yeah, Lauren.
Pinballorama should enter a float for next year's parade.
That would be fun.
Good. We can think about it.
We could get
We can make a giant pinball machine float and have people dressed up as silver balls in it, and they can dance around in it. And we will not play Pinball Wizard over and over and over
Oh
again.
God.
I will write a new song, a pinball-based song.
You know what we should?
For that.
We could either put like Flintstones, which is a pretty big game, on the back of a trailer,
God.
and then have people like, we could, I don't know, what kind of float would you make for pinball?
You make it look like a giant pinball machine.
I guess so.
Chris says the parade happens before the race, something like 75 years. They do the parade 75 years before the race? What?
Wow. Okay. So that makes
So they've
sense.
been doing it for 75 years.
Why we didn't see anybody. We thought it was the race was already over, so they do the parade and then they have
Then they
the
go
race.
watch the race.
So that's where everybody is today. Ah, gotcha. Someone did say, 2 guys came in today and said Old Home Week was kind of meh. They said they got rid of a bunch of rides this year. They
I
brought
heard that.
They
Yeah.
brought back a couple that people liked, but for the most part, the music was obnoxiously loud, and
In the Carney area?
in the carnival area, yeah.
Okay.
And they got rid of a bunch of rides.
They were worried popularity was waning, but crowds were big for the parade as well as the exhibition. Well, I do know last year, during Old Home Week, we were very, very busy. We were swamped
We're
pretty much all week.
fairly busy this week too. I was saying
This week
Wednesday,
has been okay.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we're pretty steady, and today slowed down a little bit. Monday was a little slow, but Saturday, Sunday we're busy.
But it's not near, we're only doing about half the numbers of what we did last year, I think. Or, yeah, maybe 3/4 of the numbers. We had a couple of really record-breaking days during that month, during
Funny.
Old Home Week. But
I think people, both tourists and people locally, might be staying a little closer to home.
And the other thing is, this year it didn't rain. Last
Oh, yeah.
year there was a bunch of rain this month, which is why we did, I think, the numbers that we did last year. We were still, I think this month we're still on track to be one of our better for the year.
Yeah.
But
P.S. friends, speaking of rain, remind all of your friends that we are not being hit by a hurricane on Monday and
God,
Tuesday.
no.
Okay? It is just going to be wet. We will be open. Please come to the arcade and don't absolutely if you feel you need to hunker down, but all signs point to lots of rain and not much else. So come to the arcade. We will be here for you.
Even the forecast today was that we may not, we'll get a little bit of rain, but we may not even recognize that it's a
storm.
residual leftover from a hurricane. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and restart
End that
a
game.
couple games.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if, because people, Chris, you're saying they were worried about popularity. People are, thanks so much. You guys have a lovely evening. And then there were none. They were worried, oh, my necklace is all tangled. About it waning. What is going on? Weird, my gold chain that shouldn't be able to twist at all got twisted. Huh. People staying closer to home, not going out, so maybe they went and did this because it was one of the things that they haven't done, because it doesn't cost anything to go and see the parade, right? Does anyone want to help us build a float next year? Forecast similar to last Saturday. What was last Saturday even? Did it rain last Saturday? Oh yeah. I should probably water my garden. Tomorrow, Seven and I are going to see Stephen Page. I got an ad about Stephen Page being in PEI, and I absolutely bought tickets for it. So good job on whatever advertising company threw that my way. You do. You want to help us? Are you answering my question, Lauren? I asked if anyone wanted to help us build a float, and Lauren says I do. Okay, I'm gonna hold you to that. Unless I asked some other question that you answered I do too, because I literally have the memory of a goldfish. So, if I asked another question. Hello, Carl123. Carl123 says, nice arcade. Thank you. You just missed the last few people that have left. Our date night just starts right now, so we might have a few folks come in the last 2 hours that we're open.
Kind of a strange, slow day today, but
Yeah.
it happens.
Everybody was at the parade.
Yeah, right now in town there's a big fair and a parade and apparently a horse race.
Yeah. Yes, I would be up for helping you build a float.
Awesome.
Oh my God. That would be
Alright.
wicked.
We have some things that are possibly up and coming in the next couple of months. And if that all goes through and everything's fine with that, then I'll have some more brain free time to
I
think
know.
about building a float.
Seven and I honestly. So I'm gonna back up for a second. First of all, Jeff, are you from Atlanta? Because I noticed that the show was in Atlanta. Carl, where are you from? There's something online about a comparison to not having enough capacity to spoons, and you don't have enough spoons. And I still don't understand what it is, but essentially if you have no more capacity, you have no spoons. So it's like you can't eat sort of thing. I think that's it. Anyway, someone explained the spoons thing to me. Anyway, Seven and I have run out of spoons, whatever the fuck that means. No more spoons.
Chris says, we had a float in the parade in 2008. We had the RC cars at a time we were Segway dealers. Oh, fun.
Okay.
So that's a thing too. If we do decide to do something, maybe the two businesses can kind of team up and we can do something kind of fun together. Because I can see how we could, the two businesses
have a lot of fun.
could come up with some fun stuff. Yeah. I mean, totally different businesses, but And for those who don't know, Chris works for a hobby store where they do hobby stuff.
Okay, Chris, you just mentioned Segways, and I meant to ask you this the other day when we stopped by. I thought I saw a Segway in the back. Was that a Segway? Also, I've never seen a Segway in real life, so that totally might not have been a Segway, but I thought it was a Segway. Tell me if it was a Segway. Also, has anyone died? Because Segways kill. Sorry, I have a mosquito bite.
I don't know
It's
anybody
really
who
itchy.
died riding a Segway except for the guy who invented the Segway.
I mean,
Yeah, but I do know someone who took a header off of one and took out a couple of his teeth. Remote control ball bouncing around.
ooh, ooh.
Oh, Chris, I was going to ask you. Chris says it was
Ha!
a Segway.
Ah!
I'm going to be cryptic about this. I tried to call Mark, but I left a message. I assume he got it. Did
Everything go through?
Matt make a deal with the other guy? I guess that's the way I can say it.
Oh, have you ridden on the Segway, Chris? Did you die? Did you almost die? I'm
I
curious.
imagine if they used to sell them, Chris has probably ridden Segways.
Yeah.
I've never been on one.
I've never been on one either. The idea of it is so fun, but it's so interesting when people come up with these things that they're like, oh, this is the next
Deal was made and accepted. Okay.
interesting. Okay. This is the next big thing, and people buy it and they buy into it, and then it's just like, yeah, this isn't really that great. People get injured, people get in the way, and then people fall off cliffs. Oh my gosh. We had the off. Wow.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Segway Olympics. There's so many. So, speaking of the Olympics, I did not know this, but whatever country has the Olympics, they get to choose 5 sports to host there. And that's how breakdancing got into the Olympics at Paris. It's not a permanent thing. It was just Paris was like, yeah, let's throw breakdancing in. But one of the issues I was reading about is breakdancing's more art than sport. And while it is, you have to be physically capable, it's subjective. So it's not necessarily like you dance the longest.
I would imagine that it's like ice skating or something where there's particular
Yeah.
moves that are based on technique, right? And so the whole performance might be lackluster, like the music and the costumes and the choreography might be lackluster, but they can get good scoring because their technique on all these particular, triple, quadruple, half, double, whatever they calls them, might be pulled off perfectly. So I can see that something like that with breakdancing, like the head spin or the particular thing where they do that thing or where they do that other thing.
So
they all do it.
Yeah.
And so the technique of that, if they nail it, I can see that they could judge it that way. But I just don't see.
Yeah.
On the flip side, it's dancing. Like
Yeah.
it's not an Olympic event.
Yeah.
Right.
And the thing too, like there's that Australian that didn't win or whatever. Are there people outside? It was less about you got a point for the round, and so if you didn't get a point, then the point essentially there was 3 rounds, and then you would get a point for each round. So her getting 0 doesn't really mean anything. It just means that she didn't win any of those 3 rounds. So it's not indicative of a low score. And the judges even said that. They said, it was artistic and she competed and there's nothing wrong with what she did. It just wasn't, she just didn't win that round. And they weren't giving out a score. It was based on one. So anyway, so it's not going to be in Los Angeles? I don't know. Where are the next Olympics are somewhere in the US for the Summer Olympics. And it's not going to be, there won't be breakdancing. They've chosen 5 other sports. Oh, baseball. They put baseball in for the US. So
I don't know. I paid the Olympics no attention whatsoever, ever. But I did watch her routine, the Australian breakdancing routine.
yeah.
I saw one of them,
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. And
I know.
It was probably the
She's a freaking professor of like
I know.
sociology
Yeah,
or something.
I saw she did a video thing where she talks about that too, and
Yeah.
she talks about her performance and how, she's hilarious too. So
Yeah. I think she's taking it all in stride too, and
Oh, yeah.
she's just like, whatever. I'd like to see you at the Olympics.
It's one of those things that was just sort of a lark that they
Yeah.
managed to pull it off, and they did it.
Oh my gosh. Well,
I kind of think too there was a little bit of trolling going on.
well, the other thing I read as well is that a lot of the world's best breakdancers actually refused to try and, like, because they had the round everyone goes to compete to get into the Olympics, they refused to compete because there's no real way for you. It's so artistic and subjective. Like, we could have a really good dance, but it doesn't really mean that it would, they didn't want to be involved because they didn't think it was the right way to judge that sport. So there actually were a whole bunch of people that are apparently really well known that were they backed off. Canadian won bronze. Yeah,
I don't
anyways.
know. Whatever they do, it's never going to compare to some of those epic breakdancing battles from Break Into Electric Boogaloo.
What is that?
That's a movie.
Okay.
And
I'll have to watch
top
it.
tier breakdancing battles of street kids on the street, breakdancing for clout.
How dare.
Yep.
Anyways, we got onto that topic because I was like, Segway Olympics. What do you think Segway Olympics would involve? People in the chat tell us.
I would kind of hope that it would be like that. There's that one competition where they run and then they bike and then they
Triathlon.
swim and then they shoot guns and I would like to see like
On a Segway?
on a Segway shooting guns on a Segway. Automatic weapons would be ideal. Full automatic weapons on a Segway, shooting at something. That's what I'd like to see
In the Olympics.
in the Olympics.
Okay, just
Or-
want to
yeah.
make sure we clarify because we're talking about guns on YouTube.
Or just in a video game. Like
On a Segway, add it in.
that's
Oh my
that's
God, Segways into Fallout.
The new Fallout 5, should have Segways. That you can you junk together Segways, Mad Max style, and you can
Segway around.
Segway around. That would be awesome. I've been playing lots of Fallout 4 because I missed Fallout 4 when it came around the first time, and I went through Fallout New Vegas again. I played it when it originally came out, but I couldn't finish it because I have it on those types of games. I have a tendency to just kind of goof around a lot and don't do side quests, or I don't do the main quests. I just kind of goof around. My character got really powerful when I met up with Caesar. He just rubbed me the wrong way, so I killed him. And apparently, if you kill Caesar before you do a whole bunch of other stuff, you can't complete the game. and then I didn't know, I couldn't go back. Or I didn't want to go back. I figured, well, I'll just start the game again, and then I never did. So this time around, I find it had been long enough, so I played through New Vegas. I waited to kill Caesar, and that was fun. And then I got into Fallout 4. I played it through pretty normal. Now I'm playing it again. I got the London one, and I started playing that. My idea was once I finished Fallout 4, I was going to play the London one because that just came out. And then once I was done with that, I was going to go back to Fallout 4 and play it a different way. But I started to play the London one. I kept getting stuck in models, stuck in walls, and I can't free out of it. So I figured I'd just kind of sit on it for a while, and hopefully they'll come up with some patches to kind of fix some of that.
Because it was just released.
It was just released, yeah. And they had to kind of struggle to release it because whoever made the game, I can't remember who made that game, but they had just come out with a big update to Fallout.
And that just messed
Because-
them.
Yeah, and it needed it was an update so people could play it again on newer machines. Like I tried to play Fallout 3 and I couldn't even get it to run on my machine. It just errored left and right. There was a way you could do it, and you kind of have to kind of beat it up a little bit to get it to run. But I was like, nah, I'm not going to bother. And so when they released all the new updates for Fallout, it broke a lot of what the London mod had put out. So they were kind of back and forth on what do we do? Do we try to fix it? Or so that they put out something that will roll back your version of Fallout. But if you're in the middle, if you're trying to play Fallout 4 and you want to play New Vegas on the same install, when you roll it back, it's going to break everything on your other Fallout 4 if you've upgraded. So I just installed it twice on my machine. Fallout needs more tunnel stakes. I wholeheartedly agree. There's not nearly enough tunnel stakes. There's the ones in Fallout 4 are they're the God, what are they called? They're the guys that mod the power armor, that do the paint jobs on the power armor. I forget what that group is called.
Oh, look, there's
Jules.
Luke.
Howdy.
Luke
And
says
there's
hi,
Luke.
everybody.
Hello.
And Jules, aka Rebecca. 7, tell everybody what you've been collecting on your island in Fallout.
So one thing that I didn't mess around with the first time that I played Fallout was you can build cages to catch things, and like some people are, and I want to do this. Some people are making like a Thunderdome type situation where they set up cages with one cage collects a bunch of raiders, like you have cages that collect raiders on one side, and then the other side is a single cage that catches a death claw, and then you release them at the same time in this arena that you've built. And a lot of people use that in the drive-in movie theater. So I never played with the cages thing before, so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to play with the cages thing. And I started on the Spectacle Island. I like 15 cages lined up, and I'm Jeff called it Wildcats. I'm catching cats, and I'm going to fill the island with cats. And I showed Sophia the other day. I was like, okay, you got to see this, and you hit the lever, and then all the cats jump out, but there weren't any other cats kind of in the area, so I was kind of wandering around the island to find them. There's a big long parade of cats walking from one side of the island to the other of the previous one. So I think they stick around. I don't think that they just sort of phase out
Disappear.
or wander off or whatever. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing that until my frame rate goes to 0. Or maybe I'll do that and then I'll release like, I don't know, a death claw on the island. I don't know if if the other animals interact with the cats.
Don't kill the cats.
I don't know, I'll have to try that. Yeah, and then the drive-in movie is going to end up being my Thunderdome, I think. Because I think that's one of the biggest, flattest areas that you can build on. Yeah.
Oh, feel better. Oh, Chris has COVID.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Do you need us to get you anything? We can run to the store and drop it off. Adam Cats. That's it. That was the greasers in Fallout 4. Yes, Adam Cats.
Oh, poor Chris. Yeah, if you need anything, let us know. We can do, what is it called? Porch contactless drop-off.
No.
Drop it off on the porch.
Does Amber have it too? Or is it just you?
I hope everyone else is feeling okay. Don't get COVID. It's not your fault if you do.
Yeah, you have my information. If you need me to stop and get you something, I'm happy to do it.
Bring you a we don't have it. We have a Yoo-hoo at home we still haven't drank.
I know I want to try it. I still haven't tried it. And I also have there's a Seaport Cola, and I don't think I've tried that either, and it's been in the fridge for a while.
I'm on the mend. Oh. Seven's been sick a couple times, especially after I left for my last trip. He was sick like 2 or 3 times while I was gone. I felt so bad. And then you were sick after I got back too, I think. And I was around a lot of sick people when I was in BC. I'm knocking on wood right now. And I haven't been sick since then. So everybody send me your good non-illness vibes because I cannot afford to be sick.
Yeah, and if all the things line up of what we're thinking they're going to line up, when you're gone, I can't get sick either.
No.
I absolutely will not be able to do that. I mean, maybe a week, but it's going to be a tight
plus side
squeeze.
Is we have people that we can get to help us with all of our projects. You know, we've got Jacob and other people that can help us if you get sick.
Yeah. You know how I am, though. I hate doing it.
I know, and it frustrates me.
I can't do it myself, then it's not worth doing.
No, that's not it at all. But
yeah, I was hoping we'd have news this week, but
next week
we can't announce anything yet. But
yeah, fingers crossed. Keep your fingers crossed for good things for us. We've got a lot of things. I leave again in exactly a month for another month and a half. 7 is the greatest person ever because he puts up with this aspect of my life. Even when we lived in BC, I would have to go.
She's going to BC to work on the elections. That's it. Pistols. Yes, that is what is in the background.
This round of the bid was way easier than COVID.
Round 1, I imported from Vegas. I mowed the lawn today.
Whoa! We need to mow our lawn.
Well, and it could be too that you have some of the antibodies in there to fight it. So this time your body kind of was like, oh yeah, I remember this.
Is Amber going with you to Vegas? Does she come when you go? I'd take 7. Yeah. When we traveled before, that's usually how our travel plans went. I would say, hey, I'm going to Montreal. Do you want to come? Hey, I'm going to Ottawa. You want to come? Hey, I'm going to the UK. Do you want to come? Hey, I'm going to PEI. Do you want to come? And then you asked me to go to California, which was fun. That was the last time we went on a trip in 2019, April of 2019. So I was saying that we're thinking of going to Vegas in the winter because someone was talking about the pinball place and we could drive out, check out some other things. I think if I remember National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation, isn't there a big dam or something we can go visit?
There is, yeah.
So we could do a bunch of stuff. Is it Hoover Dam?
I think it's Hoover Dam that's there.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
They also have if I remember, there's a fairly good sort of like Science Center Space Museum, something in there.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And there's a lot of like non-casino amusements that people miss because they're in Vegas and they just do the casino kind of stuff. But there's a bunch of stuff. I went to Reno once and went horse trail riding up in the hills around Reno, which was kind of fun. And it was like dirt cheap because nobody ever does it. They go to Reno, they go and gamble and stuff, but these other amusements are a little bit cheaper and stuff. So
Only there for the conference.
Vegas is a work trip. Only there for the conference, not a place we go out of pocket to visit. Vegas is a weird town. I've been there before, and it's interesting. We take the time to visit Bryce Canyon. I've been to Bryce Canyon. It's gorgeous.
Did you go there with your dad on one of the road trips?
We did when I was a kid. We went through, we kind of drove all through around in there. We went to Bryce, we went to Zion Canyon.
That sounds fun.
We went to the Grand Canyon. We hit Yellowstone on that trip, so we kind of went from down through Yellowstone and then sort of weaved down around. Then we ended up going to Bryce, Zion Canyon in Utah, and then back around to California, and then back up the coast, I think is how we did it. Yeah, it was a good trip. Long trip. Yeah.
You know where we should go in October? Next October, not this October, because I won't be here and you'll be working on a big project. We should go down to Pennsylvania because I think that's when the Allentown show is.
It's in May.
Or is it the Chicago? No, the Chicago show. Allentown's May, Chicago is October. Because I was saying you should go down to the Chicago show. So we could do that. We could go down to Allentown in May and then go to Vegas, go to Allentown, go to work for the summer, and then go to Chicago in October.
Yeah, we'll see how things pan out.
Just have a fun year. We deserve it. Oh my God.
Yeah, I think last week we talked about our new building owner. She bought the building and it has not been pleasant. So we deserve many good things coming our way for having to deal with her.
Yeah, send us some good vibes.
And we've had such bad luck in this building anyway. Like the nice thing about the building is that it was cheap, and the contract to get in and out if we needed to was convenient. It let us test our model, see if it was going to work in the area. By the first year, we knew it was going to work. The second year, it's like we know we can improve our revenue. We just need to.
We need the space.
We need to have a little bit more space to do that. So because the products that we sell do fairly well too, so people can come in to play the games. If we have a few other games to play, not just pinball, but if we brought in more video and a few other odds and ends. I
Like
think,
the shooter game, for example, does really well.
Yeah.
If we had more quirky stuff like that.
yeah, and things like foosball, air hockey,
Yeah. Bubble
maybe
hockey.
some soft tip darts or something, or even steel tip darts that people can play after the kids go. I don't like soft tip darts, but it's one of those things that you kind of don't want kids throwing those things around.
Yeah. I played at this arcade I went to in BC. Are you breaking your cup?
It's coming off. But things coming off.
It was a like safety axe throwing game, and you throw a plastic axe down through a caged area, and the board is essentially a bunch of pegs, and then the axe gets stuck in the pegs, and then once it's done, the pegs pull back in, the axe drops, and then there's a conveyor belt that pushes it back towards you so you can throw it again. That cost us, we looked it up, it was like $20,000, so
Yeah.
I don't think we'll be buying that, as much fun as it might be. How far away is Area 51 from Las Vegas? I would so go there. I was obsessed with X-Files and UFOs when I was a kid. I'm surprised I didn't get into more. Oh God, 11 hours.
That's to Roswell, New Mexico. That's why I was wondering how far away that was.
Is that Area 51?
No. Yeah, it's just right there.
Oh, what's the difference? What? I thought. What?
The Area 51 is the government proving grounds for various odds and ends that
Yeah.
people propose is filled with alien technology.
And then what's Roswell?
Roswell is where the weather balloon went down,
And everyone thought it was a UFO.
Everybody linked on the thing that it was a UFO, and the town Roswell, New Mexico, has latched onto it, and so they have little alien cafe, and
But doesn't
the whole town is. It's like Drumheller with
Yeah.
with dinosaurs. Roswell is.
But does
linked up
Area
with aliens.
51 do that too?
No, you can't.
No, we
can't-
know you can't go in there, but I'm talking about around Area 51.
I don't know.
Chris, do they do alien stuff around Area 51? Luke says, so I've played a nice but kind of weird pin this week. Anybody familiar? We have Riverboat Gambler.
That one. Yeah,
It
that's
is
a fun game.
so fun. Ha! That was the
It's different.
third pinball machine we bought?
Yeah, something like that.
I think it was the third one that we bought. Yes. Ours was having an issue with the wheel, I think it was.
No, it's got a power problem.
Oh, power problem.
So
it will be
glitchy as
back
hell.
in the near future. Near is subjective.
Need to book tickets. Oh, wait a minute. I'm way ahead. 2 hours we did the little shop that's there and drove to the military gates at Area 51 at Groom Lake.
Okay.
Need to book tickets via Janet Airlines for a trip to Area 51. I don't know.
Is that a joke? Janet Airlines? I've never heard of them before.
Oh, that's Janet Airlines. We just looked it up. That's the because you can only fly in and out of Area 51, and so that's the planes that take you.
You're funny.
Yeah.
So much alien stuff. Gift shop sells beef jerky as alien jerky. Lol. Love it.
Yeah, Riverboat Gamblers. That's a fun game. It's kind of quirky. It's unusual. Ours has been hacked together a little bit. One of the interconnect boards on that, it's got that one is the type underneath the main boards. There's a whole big interconnect board, and some of mine has been kind of cobbled together because the original connectors melted or something.
Wasn't
But it seems to be fine.
Wasn't Riverboat Gambler the one where the woman from accounting or whatever did the voiceover as a temporary thing and then they ended up just keeping it? One of the games has a voice, and I think it was Riverboat
It might-
Gambler
maybe.
that we read
Yeah,
about it.
it
And
might
so
be.
in the company that made it, they didn't have someone to do the voice recording, so they asked a woman at like receptionist or accounting or something to read it, and then they never changed the audio with a professional, and so it's just her voice. Just like on Hollywood Heat, which again, near future, we're gonna get fixed up and brought back in because I really love Hollywood Heat. The dude on the front is just Buddy from accounting again. They just
Yeah.
like pull the accountants out, dress them up, take a picture of them in front of Corvettes. The
And
end.
Riverboat Gambler has a little song, and the guy singing the song is Steve Ritchie.
Haha.
He designed. I would assume that he designed that game. That's why he's singing the songs on it. And ours does a weird thing. Only during that little part that he sings, there's something glitched with. I don't know if it's the on the sound chip or what has been programmed onto the sound chip, but part of what he sings is like all distorted and weird sounding. Some of it's perfectly clear, and then others it just kind of like static sound, and it just sounds weird. And I was going to get a new sound chip for it, just buy it preloaded and just swap them out. But then I was like, I kind of like it. Like that our Riverboat Gambler has like the death metal mode for a second because it's all distorted. So I thought I'd just leave it. And really, if you're playing at home and you can hear it, it's comical. If you're in the arcade, you're probably not even going to notice. So it's not a big deal anyway. I mean, what's going to cost me $11 to fix it or something? Or I could get another chip and reprogram it myself or something, but not going to bother. But,
Speaking of other pinball news, Seven found out today that Pascal, who does boards for
Gottlieb boards.
boards, we have one in Genie that'll help fix our Genie, has announced that he's working on a volcano board, so we are gonna get our volcano up and running. We want to bring in some more wide bodies. We've got like 4 or 5 more maybe.
Something like that.
We've got Volcano, Panthera,
Yep.
James Bond,
Stellar Wars.
Stellar Wars.
James Bond 007, the big Gottlieb one that's time-based instead
Yeah.
of ball number-based.
And then, I mean, we've got Flintstones.
Giant ice Flintstones.
Yeah. So,
That looks like here, let's pull that up, shall we?
so we've got at least 5 more big wide bodies. And Genie's, and what is it? Royal Rumble is like a half wide body, but Genie is like a wide body. So it would be nice to bring in some of these bigger kind of crazy ones. And Volcano would be really fun because it's got the subway system, right? Oh, I'm gonna sneeze, folks. I'm really sorry.
So this is
Sorry.
the giant Flintstones machine that we have, and it's massive. It's like almost 4 feet wide, and
Was it like, is Hercules the biggest and then Flintstones the next biggest?
maybe, I don't.
Look at the
This
flippers.
really isn't kind of a real pinball machine though, because it's the way that it scores and everything is different.
But look at the
Yeah,
flippers.
the flippers are cool because they're reversed. It's sort of a time game. There's not a whole lot going on in it because it's a kid's game. It's a redemption game.
That's,
It's I think it's based on time. I think because the kid would start playing it and then the ball just kind of cycles through and keeps going up as long as they have time left on the clock. I don't think there's a way that you can program it to be like 3 balls per game, but it's just wacky and funny. Yeah, it's just a weird thing.
we can read the instructions there. Yeah, it would be, so the other game I want us to get up and running when we have the space is, we talked about this one before. Is it Disco Fever? Which one's the one with the banana flippers?
Disco Fever.
Yeah, Disco Fever. We've got a game with banana flippers, and that one we really want to get up and running because it's a lot of fun.
So it's 3 feet by 5 feet. That's it. Uses a 2-inch foil coated plastic ball. Yeah. And the ball kind of looks like a big, like a rock, kind of. Yeah, funny game. So we'll get that going. Luke says, I got your t-shirt in the mail this week. Thanks, nice graphics. So which one did you get?
Oh, you moved.
What?
Is this off? Oh, there we go. Oh, there you go. Ah, I see. Sorry.
I had it repositioned when I was just letting this
Showing
thing
the
run
screen.
the other day
Oh, okay.
when it was busy.
Yeah, that was fun. A busy day.
Yeah, last Saturday was freaking nuts.
I'm interested to
And
see.
then it just
And then it's just like,
we had
Everyone's
people
gone.
in cars at the door waiting for us to turn our open signs on. It was like that for 5 or 6 hours.
6 hours, I think.
And then after that, it was just traffic dropped to nothing. It was like, I mean, we had a really, really good day, but we were at capacity a couple of times where if someone else came in, I had to tell them, no, you can't come in. And then, and then it just all went away. It was just weird, right?
Sometimes, I mean, we can. Oh, what day is that birthday party that's in the morning? Is it next Saturday?
24th?
Is it next Saturday?
I think so, yeah.
We got a
Yeah.
private party on the 24th, so we gotta remember to. I'm gonna set my alarms now for that.
It's in the calendar. So.
Yeah, but I need to set alarms for it.
Oh yeah, our numbers are going to look good today because we took that money today.
Right? So that's good. All right. The 24th. So if it starts at 10, you'll need to leave at 9, which means you need to get up by 8:30, so 8 a.m.
We have our new micro machine car that we drive around now.
Oh yeah, that's
We had a
working.
Camry hybrid that we bought, because we have to drive about 45 minutes to get here from home. So we thought the hybrid would be a good car for driving back and forth. We also have the van that we use for hauling pinball machines and stuff around, and bigger things. But that's a 6-cylinder, so it chews up gas pretty quickly. So we got the hybrid hoping that would be better, and it was okay. I wasn't super impressed. I thought we would get much better gas mileage. So then we got the news that the hybrid has succumbed to the rust of the island. There's a lot of salt all over the island in the winter, and just over the years it kind of chewed it apart. We bought it used. We don't want to have it for a couple of years. So it wasn't going to do anything. It wasn't going to be a car that we could throw back on the road without throwing a few grand at, and I didn't think it was worth it. So we looked around and we thought, we got another car. We got a little Fiat 500, which is just a little go-kart thing. There was a little bit of problem getting it up and going. We needed a new strut, which we had to order in. It had a shifter thing going on with it. Nothing major, just a lot of little fiddly things.
The shifter cable's recalled, but it's mainly the bushing. So then we ordered that part because we're waiting for Reliable Motors to get. By the way, if anyone knows anybody that works at Reliable Motors, could you get them to call us back? Because we've been leaving messages.
Pointy people too. Pointy
Anyways.
people too. Is that the two people on it or the
This one?
that one?
I sold a
I
lobster
have.
t-shirt the other day.
I'm wearing Pointy Pinball.
I think this is our last pointy people right there. And I don't know that there's too many other ones left. And I think that's our last pinball.
Yeah,
Just
this
the pinball.
is just
Yeah.
the Pointy Pinball. Yeah. And I still need to make some more shirts, and I haven't done that.
Let's just add it to the list.
Yeah.
I'm really hopeful that come the end of this year, it's been how do I say this? We really appreciate the arcade, and while we've had some bumps, the arcade has done really well, and we've got a lot of really supportive people, but in general, the universe has kind of given us a middle finger this year.
Yeah.
And it's just been like one thing after another where we're just trying to get on top of one thing and we get that problem solved. Like this week, or last week, or the week before maybe, we noticed that there was a tiny leak, a drip from the toilet, just a drip. So then Seven tried to tighten the thing that was dripping, the hose, didn't work. So he's like, okay, I'm just gonna buy a new hose. So he buys a new hose and put that on, and it doesn't help. And then in the process, made it worse. And somehow made it worse. And now there's a second leak in the toilet. So then we had to.
The first problem was there's a hose that goes from your supply up to the floater assembly that refills, and it screws to the bottom of that. So something was going on and it wasn't making a good seal at the bottom of the floater assembly. I probably could have cut that threaded plastic bit off, smoothed it out, and got it to work again. Mm-hmm. But I kind of messed up my new thing trying to tighten it down. So I think I had broke a connection between where it screws in. But anyway, so as I was fiddling with that, there's two bolts that go through the tank and attach it on this one. Two bolts go through the tank and attach to the toilet seat itself. They're supposed to be it's like a carriage bolt with a washer on the inside of the tank, a rubber washer. It goes through the tank. There's a rubber washer underneath that. Underneath that would be a metal washer, and then a bolt. And you tighten these bolts down, and they're sealed against the tank.
Water.
And so with the tank unattached, it would hold water. You put that down on the seat, and then you tighten up the bolts underneath it. through
wing nuts.
through the thing. So with ours, when they put in the toilet, it's just a little bit too far back,
It's just right up against the wall is the issue.
and the tank is actually sitting on slightly crooked. It's leaning because it can't sit flush, so it leans back a little bit. So the holes don't line up. You can't have this bolt tight. So they had jerry-rigged it together to make it work, but then it came loose, and
He touched it, it came loose, and it started leaking
and then
a
I
whole
couldn't
bunch
tighten
more.
it because of the way that they did it. So that night after that, it was like, okay, damn it.
So then he went and got the parts for it, and then he came back, and I asked him, "Are you sure you want to do this right now?" And he said yes. And this is how how a lot of our work home projects go. It's like, "Are you sure you want to do this right now? Because we're not sure that we have all the parts." And then he's like, "Yes." And then as soon as you
It
started,
wasn't just yes.
it was like,
No, it was late. It was already like 9, because I didn't have those parts. So I had to stop and get them on my way to the arcade. And then when I closed the arcade, I went home, got home, and I hadn't eaten or anything. And I just wanted to get that knocked down in the park and get that done. And you were like, "Are you sure you want to do it now?" I'm like, "Yes, I want to do it now because I gotta poop."
yeah. But that being said, we were still able to use the toilet. We just
Yeah.
had to
Manually fill it.
manually fill it and turn it off. It took like 5 minutes to go to the washroom. And so I said that because it was like, what if something happens? We only have one toilet in my mind, one toilet in the house. It's 11 o'clock at night. You can't go out to buy any parts if something breaks. And so anyways, through it, we figured out that the toilet was not properly assembled. There was no way to properly assemble. And I was like, I swear to God, I see silicone in there. Just put silicone in there. So Seven went out and got silicone. We're going to renovate the entire washroom anyway. So we're like, it doesn't matter. It just needs to hold together until we renovate the washroom, because we'll be
another year, maybe.
in another year, because
Open
we'll
that
be
up.
moving the toilet to the bathroom itself was not well put together.
No.
The toilet is in the dumbest spot anyways. There's a whole bunch of wasted space in our bathroom, but there's nothing we can do about it. So anyways, that was one misadventure, and the same couple of days that happened and the whole toilet problem, we had this happen a couple of years ago. We're like, I was walking through the living room, and there's a freaking swarm of ants in this area in the living room, and I had seen the cats looking in this section or like a little corner, and I'm like, oh, whatever. And then I walk by and I'm like, oh my God. And it's just ants everywhere. So Seven vacuumed them all up. And then we put there's a little teeny tiny hole between our crawl space, we realized, and upper floor that just needs to be sealed. And so we put a ton of diatomaceous earth down.
They're not ants live in wood type ants.
No.
They're ants live in dirt type ants.
And they just crawled
And
up.
They just live right on the outside of the house, but they
Found a way in.
One ant found a path in, and he went back to the nest. He went, "You guys won't believe what I just found," and they're like, "Come
Right.
on, let's go look!" And then they all came in.
Yeah.
And then they went for a ride in the vacuum machine.
Right. And so it's just things like that and then the car, like our car was dying.
At is here. Sorry.
Yeah.
At says, "You're doing great. Your arcade looks incredible. You've come a long way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Every challenge makes you stronger. Keep pushing. The best is yet to come."
This
I
is
love
what
that
we're
Genie
hoping.
attract mode, and I buy the game just for that. Yeah.
Right?
Every once in a while, it does this. It plays this little sad melody.
Yeah. So anyways, it's just been like toilets, cars, the brakes on the van went out again a while back, and it was just like everything
You were in
Either-
BC for months because
I
your
was-
mother was sick.
in BC for a while, and Seven was sick while I was there, and it was just like, and then, we'll have, and it always happens, and it's frustrating, but when machines go down, they go down together. So like today, for example, Big Guns was having an issue. I let Seven know. Big Guns was having an issue. We found Roadshow was having an issue.
Snowstorm. Yeah.
Lethal. Oh gosh, right? Yeah, that was another one. I could
Front
watch
porch
the video.
is 6 feet of snow in the front.
And and
That's a fun problem. I
Right.
thought that was hilarious.
lethal weapon. And then Seven found out that just tonight Medusa had a problem. So it's like they always go out together, and the big issue is that Seven doesn't have a space to work on them. So when they go out, it's either he has to like quickly fix them while people are in the arcade. He can't just pull it off, fix it, and then bring it back without being interrupted. So it's just nonstop kind of that sort of stuff. So anyways, long story short, we're hopeful that our new project that we hope we'll be able to announce next week. And even though I am leaving again, this time with a return date.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the other thing when her mom got sick and she had to go back to BC. It was open ended, so we had no idea what was going on from day to day. Yeah. You were gone for
Almost 2.5 months.
2.5 months. Yeah, it was a while. Yeah.
This year, because I like to go out to BC like once, or try to go out once a year. But this year specifically, I had gone out to visit and for work in November, December, and that was like 3-ish weeks or more. And then I had to go back in February, March, April, May. And then, and now I have to go back again. Like, it's going to be 4.5 months-ish that I will not in the 12-month period. And I love BC, but I'm really tired of it. And I'm tired of like going out there at stressful times. So my hope is go out for my work project and then come back. We'll have time for ourselves, and then we can go do something together, and we'll have a really big positive end to the year.
All right, Jeff's going to take off. We're going to stop streaming here in a few minutes. So.
Yeah, I guess so. It's getting. How is it only 10 o'clock though? It feels so much later. So I guess we'll probably stop streaming. But anyways, thanks for all the good vibes, and everyone else. We appreciate all of your support, and we might have some interesting
exciting news next Friday.
Yeah, and
at least maybe we're to a point where we can discuss it. Hopefully.
Yeah. And then part of that discussion will also be new additions to our Patreon. Yeah. So.
Yeah, shall we end the stream?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
You guys are great. Thanks for joining us.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.